have just found the most cringe text conversation ever. So, basically, this nerd guy tries to impress this girl by using all the vocabulary words he possibly can. And it sounds really bad, okay? So, let's just get into it. So his first message, he says at 2:33 a.m., so, probably not a good idea to do that. He says, by God's grace, I have attained your phone-specific number. Phone-specific, now why would you even say, and by God's grace, and he's attained it, okay? So just a lot of just stupid stuff, all right? I plan on spreading my incredibly positive energy to you through these digital messages. That can't, I really hope that's not real. I hope that's a joke. And so he writes another message after she doesn't respond, and he says, honestly, I don't feel like reading this, but he said, we shall live, laugh, and love each other for as long as we live. And then if you understand and accept my chivalrous attitude, then we may plan on formally meeting as soon as tomorrow morning. Does this sound fair? Question mark. And then, I would appreciate your response as soon as your beautiful self becomes available. Okay, this is 2:33 a.m., so probably no one's gonna answer. And he sends this to a girl named Claire. This is already headed the wrong direction. This is so bad. This is bad. And then she just responds at 5:07 a.m., which if someone gets up at that time, how? So she says, what the, WTF? And then, who gave you my number, Preston? So this guy's name is Preston. And that's all you want to know about him. Trust me. And then he sees, I see you've responded in a slightly aggressive manner. I have been quite clear in my intentions and respectful of your boundaries. So that was really weird. And then she just responds, what do you want me to say to that? I'd probably say the same thing as her, to be honest. Then he says, I would like you to ratify your destiny as my partner and take my hand as we conquer the world. Then she just is like, what are you talking about? Who told you this? Just stop texting. It's not funny. I don't like you, and I don't know who gave you the idea that I did. And then he just says, I'm embarrassed to admit that you've angered me, woman. Who says woman? Do not cross me or else. If only you knew the power I possess. Now accept my generosity before I tear your existence apart. I'm not the one, doing this. He wrote this. Then he says, I apologize for my outrage. I just didn't expect adversity of this tier. We just need to calm down. I think we just need to calm down. Okay, then she says, the real reason I don't like you is because of your improper use of certain words. JK, but you need to stop, or else. She spins it back on him, which is really cool, I think. Basically, the guy's ill. He's mentally ill. But she's not gonna let that sit right with her. And then he just says, this is far from over, Rook. ... A bunch of dots. Do you text like this in 2025? No, you don't. This makes me mad. This one makes me mad. Oh man. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So the first thing that's, kind of gives you the idea that something's off is, I have attained your phone's specific number. That was the first thing. But then he just, after she doesn't give into this BS, keep in mind, is it 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.? And then he just says, he just loses his mind, says, now accept my generosity before I tear your existence apart. She doesn't put up with it. She just says, that, you're crazy. How would you respond to this? What would you say? Personally, I'm mad. When I see this, I just got mad, and so I wanted to just share some, some of the anger, just get it off, because I don't know what I'd do if I was her. But anyway, so that was the first message, that was the first conversation, and now we have some other ones. And yeah, this is where it gets kind of weird. These weird things. I just don't know how people text in such weird ways. But anyway, we'll just get right into it. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. All right, now. So, Justin says, "Hey, babe." That's normal. I would say that's pretty normal. Then she says, "Hey, hottie, you're so hot." That's mega cringe. I don't know who normal person would ever send that. Then he says, "Thanks, but I have pretty big news, honey." And then she asks, "Is it like good or bad news?" Then he responds, "It could be interpreted as good or bad news." Then she says, "What do you mean?" "What do you mean?" And then he says, "So basically, you remember when I was saying that it would be cool to have kids someday?" I don't know. Is that cool? Maybe. Then she responds, "Just yeah." "Why, hey, yeah." Then he says, "And that I want a pretty girl that likes fashion, just like me." Wait a second. I screwed this whole thing up. So she's texting to Justin. Justin's the one saying the weird stuff, and she's also kind of weird. And then he says, "Yeah, it was like 3 days ago." And then she says, "Actually, yeah, it was like 4. She corrects him. "It was on Thursday. But that dream may come true." And then he says, "What are you saying?" And she said, "I've been pregnant for 3 months and I've been hiding this from you for 2 weeks. And he says, "You're pulling my leg." "No, I'm dead serious." Well, that's amazing! Are you excited? Of course, I kind of have a feeling already, but what do you mean by your wish might come true? I mean, if I have a boy, he's going to Romania because I don't want a boy. You're not serious, right? You've got to stop with these... You've got to stop with these jokes. I can't tell if you're serious. I don't want a boy, and I won't take care of a boy. Besides, my dad wanted to raise an MMA fighter in Romania, so I'll send him there. You know what? I've been doing stuff with your mom in Romania. Okay, now I'm just gonna be serious. This is like when I read this, I actually didn't know what to respond. I mean, this is something else. He says, I'm gonna go live with her since you don't want a son. So he's just gonna go take the mom. Honestly, I don't blame him. And then she says it was literally just a joke. The whole thing was fake, and now I'm going to get someone to punch you in the face. Okay, well, that sucks. Now he admitted that he likes her mom. Wow. Also, I knew you tried to go with my mom from last time we were there. She told me you're a creep, I just didn't believe her. Well, that's bad news. That's really bad news. Yeah. These people are nuts. I'm nuts too. But anyway, that's about it. That's all I have. So, the first one was just terrible. I mean, what these nerds, man. There's certain things you just don't text. And then for the second one, you know, I don't know, maybe don't do these pranks, maybe don't. I don't even know what to think about the second one. Yeah, so think what you want. But I'm done.